I grew up in a small town where life was simple and quiet. Every morning, the sun rose slowly, and the streets filled with familiar faces. People knew each other well. They smiled, talked, and shared stories. I was happy there, but inside my heart, I always felt something was missing. I did not know what it was, but I felt empty sometimes. I watched others laugh and love, and I wondered if I would ever feel the same. When I was young, my parents often talked about success. They said success meant a good job, a lot of money, and respect from people. I listened to them carefully. I wanted to make them proud. So I studied hard at school and always tried to be the best. I believed that if I followed the right path, happiness would come to me one day. As I grew older, I moved to a bigger city for work. The city was loud and busy. Tall buildings touched the sky, and people rushed everywhere. At first, I felt excited. I had a good job and a small apartment. Every month, I earned enough money to live well. From the outside, my life looked perfect. But inside, I felt lonely. At night, when the noise of the city became quiet, my heart felt heavy. I met many people at work. They talked about promotions, cars, and big dreams. I joined their conversations, but I did not feel close to them. I smiled, but my smile was not real. I started to ask myself a simple question: is this the life I want? I did not have an answer. I only knew that something was still missing. One evening, after a long day at work, I went to a small cafe near my apartment. The cafe was warm and calm. Soft music played in the background. That night, I saw her for the first time. She was sitting near the window, reading a book and drinking tea. She looked peaceful. I do not know why, but I felt drawn to her. I did not speak to her, but I noticed her gentle smile. I started going to the cafe more often. Slowly, I saw her many times. One day, she smiled at me and said hello. Her voice was kind and soft. We started talking about simple things: books, coffee, and the weather. Her name was Sarah. She was not rich or famous, but she was honest and warm. When I talked to her, I felt calm. For the first time in a long time, I felt seen. We became friends. We walked in the park, shared stories, and laughed together. Sarah listened to me carefully. She did not judge me. She understood my silence and my fears. With her, I did not need to pretend. I could be myself. My heart felt lighter every day. But I was afraid. Love scared me. I thought love was risky. I believed love could break me and make me weak. I told myself that work and success were safer. My parents' words echoed in my mind. I felt torn between two paths. One path was safe and clear. The other was uncertain but full of feeling. One day, I received an offer for a better job in another city. The salary was higher, and the position was important. Everyone congratulated me. They said I was lucky. I smiled and thanked them, but inside, my heart was confused. Taking this job meant leaving everything behind, including Sarah. That night, I could not sleep. I thought about my life. I thought about the quiet nights, the empty feelings, and the long days at work. I also thought about Sarah's smile and the peace I felt with her. I realized something important. Success without love felt empty. Money could not replace warmth. A big job could not replace a true connection. The next day, I met Sarah at the cafe. I told her about the job offer. She listened quietly. She did not try to stop me. She only said she wanted me to be happy. Her words touched my heart deeply. At that moment, I understood my answer. I chose love. I decided to stay. I refused the job offer. It was not an easy choice, but it felt right. For the first time, I listened to my heart instead of fear. I told my parents about my decision. They were surprised and worried, but I stayed calm. I knew what I wanted. Life did not become perfect after that. I still worked hard and faced problems. But my heart was no longer empty. I learned that love gives strength, not weakness. Love teaches patience and courage. Love makes life meaningful. Every morning now, I wake up with hope. I still live in the busy city, but my world feels warmer. I sit in the cafe with Sarah, sharing simple moments. I learned that choosing love is not about losing success. It is about finding true happiness. This was the first time I truly chose myself. Life changed quietly after I chose love. There was no loud celebration, no sudden magic. The city stayed busy, the streets stayed crowded, and my job stayed demanding. But inside me, something new began to grow. I felt calmer, stronger, and more honest with myself. Choosing love did not solve all my problems, but it gave my life a clear direction. Sarah and I continued to meet every day. Sometimes we sat in the small cafe, and sometimes we walked through the park. We talked about our dreams and our fears. She told me about her childhood and the struggles she faced. She had learned to stand on her own at a young age. That was why she valued simple moments so much. Listening to her made me respect her even more. At work, things were not easy. I stayed in the same position while others moved ahead. Some people asked why I refused such a good job offer. I did not explain much. I only said it was a personal choice. Deep inside, I sometimes doubted myself. Late at night, I asked if I had made the right decision. But every time I met Sarah and felt peace, my doubts slowly faded. Love taught me patience. Before, I wanted quick success and fast results. Now, I understood that real happiness takes time. Sarah and I were not perfect. We had small arguments. Sometimes we misunderstood each other. But instead of walking away, we talked. We listened. We learned how to forgive. Each challenge brought us closer. One rainy evening, we were walking home together. The streets were wet, and the lights reflected on the road. Sarah stopped suddenly and looked at me. She asked a simple question. She asked if I was truly happy. I thought for a moment and then nodded. I told her I was still learning, but yes, I felt happy. That moment stayed in my heart. As months passed, I noticed changes in myself. I smiled more. I slept better. I stopped comparing my life with others. I understood that everyone has a different journey. Some people choose money. Some choose power. I chose love, and that choice slowly shaped my future. My parents visited me one weekend. They saw my simple life and met Sarah. At first, they were quiet and careful. But over time, they saw the respect and care between us. They saw peace in my eyes. My mother smiled softly and said I looked different. She said I looked content. That meant more to me than any promotion. Sarah encouraged me to follow my passion. She knew I loved writing but never had the courage to try. With her support, I started writing in the evenings. I wrote short stories about life, love, and choices. Writing helped me express feelings I kept hidden for years. Slowly, my confidence grew. One day, my manager noticed my writing skills and offered me a new role at work. It was not in another city. It was right where I was. The role allowed me to be creative and grow. I felt grateful. I realized that choosing love did not close doors. It opened new ones in unexpected ways. Life still tested us. There were days of stress and tiredness. But we faced them together. We learned that love is not just a feeling. It is a decision made every day. It is choosing kindness when it is hard. It is staying when leaving feels easier. One evening, as we sat in the cafe where everything began, I looked at Sarah and felt thankful. I thanked her for her patience and understanding. She smiled and said love is about walking side by side, not leading or following. Her words stayed with me. I learned that love does not make life perfect. It makes life real. It teaches balance. It reminds us what truly matters. I stopped chasing a future that did not belong to me. I started living in the present, with honesty and care. Looking back, I do not regret my choice. I chose love, and love chose me back. My life is simple, but it is full. Every day brings a new lesson, a new chance to grow. And in that journey, I found something greater than success.